I am Bob Copperstone, a former newspaper journalist, and I like to write stories that mostly deal with my childhood in the mid-20th century. During my 80-plus years, I have accumulated troves of facts and memories as I experienced them here in Wahoo and surrounding Saunders County. These vignettes are presented as true and factual to the best of my recollection, and I wish to pass them on before they blink, flicker, and go dark forever. This is Growing Up Wigwam, as told by Uncle Bob. Letter to Editor, November 16, 2024. This letter was not printed. Bargain Basement Comics. All the daily newspapers serving our part of eastern Nebraska are owned by a single entity and share a thrifty, bare-bones half-page of comics section. Recently, they announced another shuffle. We lost Doonesbury, among other worthy strips, and left these dregs behind. Family Circus, the epitome of insipidity, age 64 and shows it. Beetle Bailey, High and Lois, Hagar the Horrible, Sally Forth, all tough competitors in the vapidity sweepstakes race. Zits, the only strip worth the ink it takes to print the Lee Enterprises abbreviated comic pages. And why bother to disinter the dusty corpses of Barney Google and Snuffy Smith? That hillbilly-themed cartoon is 105 years old, for heaven's sake. The effort to update these goofy characters by giving them modern situations is painfully pathetic. Do not resuscitate. And that's just the daily offerings. Don't even get me started on the Sunday comics, where subpar panels are printed grotesquely enlarged to fill space and avoid buying us more cartoons. This entire mess gives the appearance of a bargain basement shopping spree at the cartoon suppliers Andrews McMeel International. We subscribers deserve better than a cartoon race to the bottom. Omaha attorney barges in. This is a letter to the editor picked up by the Lincoln Journal-Star. Overlooking the obvious question of why we in Saunders County should care what a right-wing Omaha lawyer thinks about a solar farm proposed for Utah, let's focus on a few of his baseless opinions aching to be dragged into the sunlight. The left, his capital L, champions solar energy, said David D. Begley, Omaha attorney, as he signed his letter, dragging national Republican Party politics and anti-Asian dog whistles into what essentially is an isolated local land use discussion. But, he said, they ignore the fact that most solar panels are made in China, and he cited cheap and alleged slave labor there. Actually, according to a recent journal of the Royal Society of Chemistry, quote, cheaper Chinese solar panels are not due to low-cost labor, but larger-scale manufacturing, which results in supply chain benefits. In other words, China's business plan so far appears to have snookered that of its competition, including us. Besides, there are numerous solar panel plants in the U.S. One of the largest, LG Solar, is based in Huntsville, Alabama, and Hanwha Q-cells are manufactured in Delton, Georgia. Those U.S.-made panels are ARRA, American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, compliant, and should qualify for ARRA grants, rebates, and other purchasing, which requires Buy American certification. Also, Asian solar companies have begun moving manufacturing solar panels in America. The Omaha lawyer appears to have entered the trial, so to speak, armed only with a scattershot barrage of, quote, evidence to shore up a weak and anti-solar case that relies heavily on praising fossil fuels. He also offers, without proof, that clean solar power is unreliable and claims that dirty burning dinosaur squeezins are the superior energy source. Some uninformed people apparently still believe that when the sun goes down or hides behind a cloud, our solar-fueled lights are snuffed out, as if massive-scale battery storage of electricity does not exist. Try it again. As if massive-scale battery storage of electricity does not exist. But the metaphorical jury long ago came to favor solar power, and the Douglas County lawyer's weak summation fails utterly to change the mind of this Saunders County juror. Parents can't make your children toe the line? Are they repeat offenders? Do you need help? The answer is as close as your nearest state capital, where wise, all-knowing politicians are striving to steadily lower the age at which children can be jailed. Nebraska laws are currently on track to allow locking up of pre-adolescent kids. Happy 11th birthday, my future jailbird. Where will it all end? What's this? Another poopy diaper? You know better than that. Didn't the government warn you to stop that? Oh, don't cry, dear. I'm sure you'll make parole. A pissy grocery cashier. I sent this letter to the owner of the Wahoo supermarket several years ago. Dear Rex, I was distressed on Wednesday about 3:45 p.m. when an elderly woman in front of me at the second to the last register had dropped some blueberries on the floor. The woman was quite elderly, but had nevertheless competently shopped for her few groceries, although she was a bit addled about her mistake. The blueberries were in a fragile snap-lid plastic container, which would easily pop open if squeezed wrong. The dark-haired cashier, I don't know her name, glared at the woman and said, "Oh my God," called for another checker, announced loudly that there had been a big mess, and then ran around the site to the spill. The elderly customer stood back, a pained look on her face, while the checker held the offending berry box in front of her and proceeded to explain, as to a child, how the box could be properly closed. In my opinion, the checker didn't need to get all pissy about it and publicly humiliate the poor woman. How much better a public face your supermarket would have if she had comforted the woman that, quote, "It's all right, no harm done. Let's get someone to pick up the berries and we'll get you checked out." The old woman knew that she had spilled them, but she was obviously addled and didn't know what to do. The checker made her feel like a naughty child. I know I can expect better from your store. I remember with fondness how years ago my mother, Irma Copperstone, was about that old and near blind as well. She shopped at Wahoo Super and depended on the staff, maybe you, yourself, Rex, to help her shop. She'd give her a list and they'd fetch the groceries. Very impressive. That helped keep her independent and out of a nursing home. I'm forever grateful for that, and it made a lasting impression on me. I shop at your store exclusively now. I hope you can persuade your staff to be a little more empathetic. Please let me know if I can be of more help. Best wishes, Bob Copperstone. To be continued.
Growing Up a Wigwam is written by Bob Copperstone and produced by Chris Beatty. Everything is recorded in lovely Wahoo, Nebraska. If you've enjoyed this and want some more stories about Uncle Bob and other things, please subscribe at chrisbeatty.com.